Chapter 51. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tsunade, who was completely relaxed, yawned and left. Xiaochun, who had been ignored all the time, turned to bed and turned red with anger. Sarutobi, are you going to keep indulging her like this? It started again. Mito Kadoyan could only shake his head slightly. Whenever they are ignored, Koharu and Danzo always like to find the third Hokage to rip off their skin, but it's of no use. Orochimaru and Jiraiya were okay, he would save them some face, but Tsunade was different. Tsunade completely ignored their existence. You see that I am unhappy, but I still don't want to talk to you. Anyway, you don't dare to do anything to me. So put away your elder heir. This thing is of no use to me. Koharu, Tsunade, she's just too tired. The third Hokage remained as docile as ever. This kind of thing can be dealt with perfunctorily. On one side is his friend and the village elder, on one side is his disciple, and also the princess of Konoha. Neither of them were afraid of him. In this case, why bother getting involved? Just do it perfunctorily. The third Hokage chose to be perfunctory and went to bed. Koharu was furious, but it was of no use. It was impossible for the third Hokage to ask Tsunade to apologize to her for such a thing, and it was impossible for Tsunade to apologize. It will all come to nothing in the end. After training for a day, Qianyue and Minato chose to go home. As soon as she arrived at the door of her house and was about to open the door, Qianyue noticed that the window had been touched, so I asked in my heart, Xiao Bai, is there anyone at home? Right. Xiao Bai, who was drowsy in the sealed space, responded feebly, turned over comfortably, and continued to sleep. Kushina. There was no way Uchiha Mikoto could climb through a window. If she really came over, she would definitely go to the river to find herself and Minato. Then the person who climbs the window will only be Kushina. This girl sometimes wanted to scare him and deliberately hid in the room or behind the door, even though she never really scared Qianyue, but Kushina likes to play this kind of little game, or a prank. Poor Kyuubi. After 3 seconds of silence for Kyuubi, Qianyue took out the key, opened the door, and walked to the bedroom. Oops, not bad, I even know how to hide it under the quilt. Qianyue grabbed the quilt and pulled hard. The quilt was successfully pulled away, and Qianyue could clearly see the person hiding under the quilt. How the hell could this be Kushina? When did Kushina turn yellow? Who? Tsunade, who was in a daze, opened her eyes a little, squinted and tried hard to look at the figure standing in front of her. It took a while to see clearly, so he turned over with the pillow in his arms and murmured, hurry and make something to eat, I'm starving. No, you climbed into my house through the window, slept on my bed, and then you confidently asked me to cook for you? Sister, this is my home, not yours. Tsunade returned to Konoha, which Qianyue did not expect. It looked like he was very tired. It was really not easy to kill enemies on the battlefield, especially in the terrible environment of the rain country. Jiraiya didn't know if he was back, but if he was, he would definitely go to Minato as soon as possible. After all, the disciple has been left behind for so long, so he needs to be coaxed as soon as possible. Wake up and go back to sleep. Qianyue threw away the quilt and pushed Tsunade. Don't make trouble, let me sleep for a while, I'm almost exhausted and starving. Tsunade was still confused. I didn't know until I got back that Kushina had moved out. She was not at home, so I came to your place. It just so happens that your cooking is delicious. I really miss it. I want to eat the big pig's trotters. You are such a big pig's hoof yourself. It seemed that this woman was staying at home. Qianyue left the bedroom speechlessly and came to the kitchen. Soon, Tsunade opened her eyes when she smelled the aroma of meat, jumped up from the bed, and ran out without even bothering to put on her shoes. Well, looking at a certain Konoha princess who was lying on the table and eating meat, with no image at all, Qianyue suspected that she did not retreat from the battlefield, but fled from Africa. Even if the transportation in this world is inconvenient and the transportation of materials is difficult, you, Tsunade, will not be so hungry. How long has it been since you've touched meat? Why are you so anxious? His eyes were glowing green, looking very much like Era, who was snatching food from his previous life. After thinking for a while holding the bowl and chopsticks, Qianyue asked, Senior, is Konoha supply shortage to this extent? After swallowing the meat in her mouth, Tsunade looked like she had come to life. When you go to the battlefield, you will know that the environment in that damn place in the Kingdom of Rain can be as bad as it is. It is good to have dry food, but you still want to eat meat. Remove. It's almost the same if it's not at Konoha camp. As a medical ninja, instead of staying in the camp to treat the wounded, he rushed to the battlefield to kill the enemy. He rushed harder than anyone else and hit people harder than anyone else. Tsunade was the only one in the entire ninja world. Other medical ninjas would not dare to play like this. After picking up a piece of green vegetables, Qianyue continued to ask, "How is the situation on the battlefield?" Tsunade was silent for a while and sighed, "It's not ideal. The strength of the Rain Ninja Village is far beyond our imagination. Under the leadership of Hanzo, Konoha didn't get much benefit. Of course, this has nothing to do with the command of certain people." At the end, Tsunade didn't forget to complain, "One can imagine how much she disagrees with Danzo." Qianyue remembered that the commander-in-chief of the Rain Kingdom battlefield was Danzo. To be honest, he didn't think Danzo was suitable to sit in this position. Among the people on the front line and those with commanding abilities, Nara Shikakushin and Orochimaru are the most suitable. The former is more comprehensive, while the latter is more ruthless. Nodding, Tsunade wanted to scratch her head with her hands in distress, but after raising her hands and seeing how greasy her hands were, she had to give up the idea. The battlefield in the Land of Rain has not ended yet, but the Suna Ninja Village unexpectedly attacked Konoha at this time. A new war has begun, making the Iwa Ninja Village and the Cloud Ninja Village ready to take action. In recent times, more and more ninjas from other countries have entered the Kingdom of Rain. Even the Sand Ninja Village has shown signs of entry. In Naruto, during the Second Ninja War, the Rain Ninja Village was a miserable place. Konoha is fighting here, Suna Ninja Village is fighting here, and even Iwa Ninja Village is getting involved, so much so that at the end of the fight, Hanzo even declared war on Suna Ninja Village and Iwa Ninja Village while going to war with Konoha. The three major ninja villages, plus the Rain Ninja Village, were fighting fiercely, and various melees continued. After eating and drinking, and washing off the grease on her hands, Tsunade sat slumped in a chair and drank hot tea with satisfaction. "The main reason I came back this time is to take you and Minato to the front lines." As she spoke, Tsunade sat up straight, looked Qianyue up and down, and marveled, "I didn't expect that after not seeing you for a while, your boy has become much more handsome and stronger. Even the average jounin is no match for you. I heard about Shimura Shutsu, he did a good job. Don't pay attention to the Shimura clan, they don't dare to retaliate against you, and the third-generation old man will not allow this to happen, but you have to be careful on the battlefield. Danzo is not a good person." Chapter 52. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. If he's not afraid of dancing in front of countless Konoha ninjas and getting mentally traumatized, then he can come and trouble me. Qianyue shrugged her shoulders and said it didn't matter. "I can't tell you are very confident." Tsunade rolled her eyes. If you offend that old guy badly, be careful that he deliberately sends you on a dangerous mission. Casual, Qianyue still shrugged her shoulders, indicating that it didn't matter to me. It doesn't matter how you come, overtly or covertly, it doesn't matter, as long as he doesn't drag a sealing class to cause trouble for him, that's fine. Qianyue is not afraid of anything else, but she is afraid of being sealed accidentally, and that is barbecue. As for blatantly asking him to die, that's a small problem. Just let Xiaobai put a few-tailed beast jade, blow up the Konoha camp, and then act openly as a traitor. If there were family members living in Konoha, Qianyue would still have taboos, but he was alone and afraid of a hammer. Your boy's temper has grown with your strength. Qianyue's attitude left Tsunade speechless. It was a good thing that she didn't know what Qianyue was thinking, otherwise she would definitely be shocked. For ordinary ninjas, becoming a rebel ninja is definitely a last resort, but to Qianyue, this is not important at all. Forget it. You, like Xingshu, seem to have entered the rebellious stage, and your persuasion is in vain. Think about it for yourself. I'll borrow your room. Call me at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. I have to go to the hospital to perform surgery. Guest room available. Are you still addicted to sleeping? If you don't sleep in my room, you won't be able to sleep. Too lazy to make the quilt. Tsunade's reason made Qianyue thunderous on the outside and tender on the inside. The bedroom was occupied by Tsunade, and Qianyue laid out the quilt in the guest room. After thinking about it, he closed the door. jumped on the roof and came to Minato's house. Who? The slight sound of footsteps still attracted Minato's attention. Minato, who was practicing the seals at home, was directly disturbed. It's me. Qianyue jumped in from the window and praised. That's right. I don't rest at home alone and practice the seals hard. You didn't do this when you were at home. Minato didn't blame Qianyue for climbing into the window. After all, he often climbed into Qianyue's house. Everyone has each other. I was bored. You blow, you keep blowing. If I hadn't grown up with you, I would have almost believed your lies. Congratulations, your wish is coming true. Chigetsu patted Minato on the shoulder and congratulated him. Why don't I know that any of my wishes have come true? Minato had a black question mark on his face. Familiar opened the refrigerator, took a bottle of water, took a few sips, sat next to Minato and explained. Tsunade is back. Instead of going home, she came to my house. Not only did she eat the meat in my house, but she also occupied my bedroom. You and I will go to the battlefield of the land of rain together. Is going to the battlefield considered a wish? Minato couldn't help but roll his eyes. Are you going to meet Jiraiya-sensei? It's been a long time since we last met, and Minato really wanted to meet Jiraiya. Mainly, I wanted to ask him why he abandoned himself in Konoha and then ran to the battlefield. Minato has always had a little knot in his heart regarding this matter. Anyone who has a teacher will be depressed if the teacher is irresponsible and leaves him behind. What's more, after Jiraiya went to the front line, he didn't take the initiative to contact Minato, as if he had forgotten Minato as his apprentice. After all, the master-student relationship in the Naruto world is not strong at all, and killing masters is quite common. Orochimaru killed the third generation, Nagato killed Jiraiya, and Obito buried his teacher Minato and his wife Kushina. Even after the second pillar Sasuke swelled, he wanted to chop Kakashi, the teacher, with a knife. Qianyue didn't understand how they were able to do this. Others are okay, but Sasuke and Obito are a bit untenable. Orochimaru was deceived by the third Hokage, and it was understandable. Nagato became a human being and a ghost, and it was all caused by the people of Konoha. The death of Koyahiko made him almost crazy, and it is understandable that he killed Jiraiya. But what happened to Uchiha? Sasuke and Uchiha Obito, Minato and Kushina seemed pretty good against Uchiha Obito. In Kakashi's class, Kakashi Hatake didn't even teach Naruto much, nor did he teach Sakura anything. From beginning to end he was teaching Sasuke and helping him. In the end, this was the result. To be honest, it would be better not to accept such a disciple. Various vivid examples caused Qianyue to be disgusted with the master-student relationship in the Naruto world. At the same time, he also recognized the words described by Naruto fans in his previous life. Uchiha are all madmen, stay away from them. To be honest, Jiraiya left you in the village for so long without even a greeting. Are you angry with him? There is some blame, but I won't be angry. After all, Jiraiya-sensei has his own things to be busy with. Minato smiled and scratched his head to defend Jiraiya. After all, he left me in the village because he was worried that I would be in danger on the battlefield. I trust Jiraiya-sensei. You are hopeless. I've requisitioned your sofa tonight, so I won't compete with you for the room. Leaning back on the sofa, Qianyue decided to spend the night at Minato's house. He was afraid that some violent woman who looked like she was sleeping or not eating would get up in the middle of the night and cry out that she was hungry and wanted to eat. Qianyue's guess is not unreasonable. Tsunade did get up in the middle of the night to look for food. After searching for a while to no avail, she even wanted to catch Qianyue and cook her rice. However, Qianyue had the foresight and ran to Minato's house to spend the night. Tsunade couldn't find anyone anywhere, so she had to drink some milk and go back to sleep. Has Xiaobai begun to enter the second stage of growth? After her consciousness entered the sealed space, Qianyue looked at Xiaobai, who was getting bigger and bigger, like a small mountain. At this time, Xiaobai seemed to be the incarnation of the god of sleep. He always looked like he didn't get enough sleep. He looked a little lazy and lacked energy at all. Qianyue guessed that its second stage of growth was coming. Judging from the sleeping time in the first stage, it won't take long for Xiaobai to pass the second stage and fully grow up. Xiaobai in the second stage can be released completely. Even if he fights the 9 Lamas in Kushina's body, it will not be a waste. I hope the advancement time this time will be shorter. Accidents may happen all the time on the battlefield, and Qianyue may need Xiaobai's help at any time, maybe before going to the battlefield. You will have to use it when facing your own people. As usual, Kushina opened the door of Qianyue's house and playfully stretched her head to take a look. She didn't see Qianyue and thought Qianyue was sleeping, so the thief walked towards the bedroom gropingly. You didn't even close the bedroom door. How careless. Seeing that the bedroom door was open, Kushina murmured and slowly approached. Looking at the bed, there was not even a hair in sight. The sleeping person had almost curled himself up under the quilt. What time has it been? I'm still sleeping. Every time I go back to the village, I like to sleep in, just to see if I don't scare you. Like a thief, she put the lunchbox aside. Kushina took a deep breath, grabbed the quilt and pulled hard. Qianyue, you big lazy idiot, the sun is shining on your butt. Get up quickly. Look, I've done it for you. Ah. The quilt was lifted, and Kushina was dumbfounded when she looked at the plump body and long golden hair spread out on the bed. Isn't this Qianyue's room? Why is there a woman sleeping on it? Who are you? Kushina put her hands on her hips, her long red hair had begun to float, her expression was gritted, as if she wanted to eat someone. Who is it? It's so early in the morning and you don't want anyone to sleep. She was sleeping soundly, but when someone woke her up, Tsunade felt like scolding her. If she hadn't known that she was in Konoha and at Qianyue's house, Tsunade would have jumped up as soon as possible to show off the person who was lifting her quilt. Tsunade-ne. Kushina, who almost erupted like a volcano 1 second, was dumbfounded the next second. Isn't this person sleeping on Qianyue's bed? Tsunade. You. Kushina was almost incoherent. Weren't you on the battlefield? Why did you come back and sleep on Qianyue's bed? Where are the Qianyue people? How could I know? Scratching her head in confusion, Tsunade yawned and complained. You still have the nerve to say that I didn't know you had moved until I went back. When I went to your house, you were not around, so you came to Qianyue, just in time for a meal. As a result, this guy ran away last night and I was hungry all night. Kushina was speechless. You can say this after being hungry all night. You are hungry, and you don't know how to get something to eat? Bowsy. Let's take a look at the homepage. It's full of updates. Enough updates. I love you, Red Heart. Chapter 53. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. Subconsciously pulling the quilt, Tsunade planned to sleep for a while longer. Who knew that when he smelled the aroma of food, his whole body jumped up as if he had been given a shot of blood. She grabbed the lunchbox, opened it, started eating, and praised hesitantly. As expected of my good sister, she knew I was hungry and brought me food. It's so delicious, Kushina, your cooking skills have become stronger. This is for Qian. Looking at Tsunade, who was eating a lot, Kushina hesitated to speak. In the end, she still couldn't snatch the lunchbox back because Tsunade's eating appearance had frightened her. If it were anyone else, Kushina would definitely grab the lunchbox immediately, because this is a delicacy prepared for Qianyue. Others cannot eat it. Forget it, just eat it. Is this going to fight or to escape? Tsunade looked like a refugee to Kushina. Not only was he filthy, but he was as excited as a starving man when he saw the food. He wished he could even stuff the lunchbox into his mouth. This eating phase is so terrible. Didn't Qianyue cook yesterday? Hey, Kushina is here too. Carrying the breakfast bought on the street, Qianyue walked in when the door was open. Kushina, who didn't want to see the uncomfortable look on her face, kept persuading Tsunade to eat slower, and Tsunade, who looked amazing when eating, where did you go last night? I can't find anyone anywhere. Tsunade was busy eating without forgetting to glare at him. I'm starving to death, you know. I went to Minato's house just to prevent you from getting me up in the middle of the night to cook. I'm not your nanny. Pampering you? If you think too much, if you want to eat at night, you have to do it yourself. If you don't have the ability to do it, you deserve to starve. Ahem. Qianyue was so disrespectful that she directly attacked him. Tsunade choked heavily. Slow down. Kushina was angry and distressed, so she could only help Tsunade pat her back. After eating all the delicious food Kushina brought, Tsunade felt like she was alive. Then she threw away the lunchbox, and Tsunade returned to her usual carefree state. Looking at her like this, she seemed to be looking for a toothpick to pick her teeth. I can't bear to look at it. the majestic princess of Konoha, Tsunade, is sitting carelessly on the bed, looking for toothpicks everywhere regardless of her messy hair. This scene is simply amazing. Qianyue turned around silently and ate her own food, pretending she didn't see it. Boy, do you seem to have a strong opinion of me? Noticing Qianyue's disgusted eyes and turning her back to herself, Tsunade shouted dissatisfied. He calmly looked up at the watch on the wall and said, Didn't I say there was an operation today? Has the operation been cancelled? What should I do? Will I lose a lot of money? Well, it seems that if there is really an operation, someone else has already made an appointment. In addition, the money given was quite a lot, so Tsunade agreed to earn some gambling money. As a result, I almost overslept. I'll settle the score with you tonight. Regardless of her slovenly appearance, Tsunade ran barefoot outside, shouting as she ran, Leave some food for me tonight, I won't be back until later. How can anyone be like this? Kushina covered her eyes and shouted in collapse, Tsunade-sama, clothes, clothes. Ah! Tsunade, who was putting on shoes, looked down and couldn't help but blush. He quickly pulled up his clothes and teased Kushina, What are you afraid of? There are no outsiders. If this kid Qianyue sees you, it won't be a disadvantage. I didn't take it seriously at all. Besides, it's not like I've never seen it before, so there's nothing interesting about it. Gone. After putting on her shoes and tying up her hair as quickly as possible, Tsunade put on her coat and left. As for washing up, it seemed too late. I hope the person doing the surgery today won't think you're too sloppy. Qianyue observed 3 seconds of silence for the patient who paid a lot of money for Tsunade's surgery. Fortunately, this is the world of Naruto. If it were a previous life, a sloppy doctor like Tsunade might not even be able to enter the operating room. Sometimes the wishes are beautiful, but the reality is cruel. Just when Tsunade finished the operation, got the money, and was about to go to the casino to grab some money, the ANBU people were already waiting at the door of the hospital. Tsunade, sir, Hokage-sama invites you to go to the Hokage's office. Although he has not yet received the extremely intimidating and insulting title of Sannin, because of his identity as the Princess of Konoha, the ANBU people are much more polite to Tsunade than to Jiraiya and Orochimaru. When I see you, I know something is up and I'll go there right away. So annoying. I still wanted to go to the casino, but the old man had expected it. He actually sent someone to guard the door of the hospital and invite her over as soon as she came out of the operation. After not being able to go to the casino, Tsunade's mood suddenly changed from sunny to cloudy, and she came to the Hokage's office holding in her stomach. The door was kicked open. In the Hokage's office, the third Hokage looked as normal and was not angry because the door to the office was kicked open. Koharu, who had always been in trouble with Tsunade, slightly twitched her lips. Looking at Tsunade walking in with a figure-footed step, she hesitated to speak. In the end, she did not open her mouth to reprimand Tsunade and decisively turned her head to the side as if nothing happened. Old man, what do you want from me? Tsunade sounded very unhappy as she walked to an empty chair and sat down. After blowing out a puff of smoke and placing the pipe on the table, the third Hokage said, Danzo sent a message from the front line, saying that he intends to contact Hanzo, and hopes that Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village can reach a reconciliation and end the war. What do you ask me for? Originally she was just in a bad mood, but after hearing what the third Hokage said, Tsunade looked impatient. Konoha has fallen into the quagmire of the Rain Kingdom battlefield. If Hanzo is willing to reconcile, he will not fight with Konoha to the end. Don't forget that Rain Ninja Village has also declared war on Iwa Ninja Village and Sand Ninja Village. I don't think Hanzo will bow his head and choose reconciliation. Reconciliation? Just kidding. Hanzo's strength is at its peak at this time, and the military strength of Rain Ninja Village is also unprecedentedly strong. It can be seen from their initiative to declare war on Konoha, Iwa Ninja Village, and Sand Ninja Village. I will fight anyone who causes trouble within the land of rain, no matter if you are from Konoha or Suna Ninja Village. Iwa Ninja Village is no exception. In this case, reconciliation is simply impossible, only when the Rain Ninja Village is beaten to the end and Hanzo is forced to bow his head can we talk about reconciliation, and Hanzo will not bow to Konoha easily. Danzo had a good idea, Tsunade sneered, folded her hands together, and said disdainfully, "Reconciliation is completely fanciful. Even if Hanzo agrees, who will bow? Konoha, or the Rain Ninja Village? Reconciliation is okay. If you Konoha bows your head and admits defeat, then our Rain Ninja Village will reconcile. You don't take the initiative to bow your head, but you still want to end the war. How can there be such a good thing in the world?" The Sand Ninja Village declared war on Konoha, so a large number of Sunagakure ninja villages, led by Chiyo, entered the Kingdom of Rain and joined the war, in order to drag Konoha to the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain. Hanzo was not a fool and could not agree to Konoha's request, but the situation in the Country of Fire is not optimistic. There are still many enemies sneaking in. Xiaochun looked sad when he went to bed. According to the information sent back to the village, the third Kazekage is camped in the Kingdom of Kawa. The main camp of the Suna Ninja Village is here. The ninjas of the Suna Ninja Village can enter our Country of Fire at any time. The third Kazekage didn't enter the Land of Fire. Tsunade felt something was wrong, a surprise attack on the Land of Fire. As the strongest man in the Sand Ninja Village, the third Kazekage should take the lead in the charge. If he entered the battlefield, few people in Konoha could stop him. The strange thing was that Konoha and Suna Ninja Village were fighting back and forth, but the third Kazekage didn't make any movement at all. It seems like there is some hidden conspiracy. Chapter 54. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not at all. Mito Menyan took over the topic. According to the information sent back by spies, the third Kazekage seemed to have entered the Land of Fire, but later evacuated. Then he stayed in the camp of Kawanaguni and has not left the camp yet. The enemies in the Land of Fire are mainly led by Chiyo's son. What about the general? Tsunade was afraid that the third Hokage would hand over the command position to some random people again. On the battlefield in the Land of Rain, she was almost pissed off by Danzo. If the battlefield of Kawanaguni is like this, then the war in Konoha will definitely be difficult to fight. It's Hatake Tsukumo. The third Hokage spoke. Hearing this, Tsunade nodded and praised. It's a good choice. Senior can indeed take on such a position, but I suggest that Narashikakushin be sent there as well. Hatake-senpai is better at fighting on the battlefield than commanding a camp. It has been dispatched. That's good. I will return to the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain as soon as possible. This old woman Chiyo has arrived at the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain. We in Konoha need to prepare antidote medicine at any time. Then thank you for the hard work. After hearing this, Tsunade pushed the chair away angrily and said angrily, If you really understand me, then get rid of Danzo. Tsunade, Danzo is the Hokage's assistant. He is also your senior, please give him enough respect. After going to bed, Xiaochun couldn't help it anymore. After all, their interests and Danzo's are one and the same. When Tsunade questions Danzo, she is questioning several of them. I will think about it. Using his eyes to signal Koharu to go to bed and say a few words, the third Hokage began to make love. Replacing Danzo was impossible. There are currently no suitable candidates in the village. As for teaching Tsunade a lesson, that's even more impossible. During the war, Tsunade was inseparable from the battlefield in the Land of Rain. Once Tsunade was angry and ran away, it would only be more difficult for Konoha to win the war. However, Tsunade is the kind of person who dares to strike if you push her too hard. No one dares to show off more than Tsunade. Just pat her butt and leave, but you can't label her as a rebellious ninja, otherwise, you are slapping yourself in the face and the face of the Fire Country daimyo. Then you think about it slowly. I'm exhausted. Let's go now. Still ignoring Koharu, who went to bed, Tsunade waved her hand and turned around to leave. She finally saw that the third Hokage would not replace Danzo no matter what. In this case, what else is there to say? If anything happens to the person you decide on, you will be responsible for it yourself. After Tsunade left, Koharu inevitably complained again when she went to bed. However, the third Hokage is still the same as before, trying to persuade Shini to make peace. Let Xiaochun have no temper at all. As an elder, she represents authority in front of most people, but for Tsunade, she is ignored. After enduring it for so long, I can finally be free and unrestrained. After leaving the Hokage's office building, Tsunade hurried towards the casino, but when she ran to the casino, she stayed where she was. The casino is fucking closed. A notice was also posted stating that due to the impact of the war, the venue would be closed in the near future in order not to cause trouble to the village. Seeing this notice, Tsunade almost spat out a mouthful of blood. She had prepared all her little money, but in the end, she had no place to lose even though she had money. This was outrageous. At this time, Tsunade wanted to catch the casino owner and beat him up. When is the wrong time to close the door? If you close the door at this time, are you deliberately targeting me? It was obviously still open yesterday. What Tsunade didn't know was that in order to prevent her from staying in the village, the third Hokage had to ask the Anbu people to notify Konoha's casinos overnight to close them all. No business is allowed until Tsunade leaves the village. People from Anbu have come to warn him. Which casino owner would dare to commit a crime? Didn't you say you'd be back very late? After the training, Qianyue had just returned home and took a shower. She was lying on the sofa reading a book when she saw Tsunade coming back with a face full of unhappy words. The casinos are closed. Tsunade felt that the world was dark, as if God was against her. She leaned against Qianyue indifferently, not forgetting to squeeze twice to find a comfortable position. I thought you were out of love or the operation failed, but you told me that the casino was closed. If you don't give money to others, will you die? Etc. Give money. Instead of giving it to someone else, give it to me. Anyway, you are eating and drinking here, and the most outrageous thing is sleeping together. I wasn't happy to sleep in the guest room and even occupied my room. Raising her hand and rubbing her chin with fingers, Qianyue narrowed her eyes. Have you ever played landlords? What kind of fight with landlords? The salty fish Tsunade glanced at Qianyue feebly, and Qianyue shrugged her shoulders and replied, A gamble. How to play? After hearing this, Tsunade became very excited. She jumped up high, sat cross-legged, and waved her hands. Come on, I'm almost missing you. Just play that landlord game you mentioned. It doesn't matter whether you're playing cards or playing video games, it doesn't matter what you are, as long as you can gamble, but we don't have poker cards, and we don't have enough people. Only 3 people can play Didi. If you need any poker, leave it to me and I'll be responsible for finding someone. Looking at Tsunade who was on fire, Qianyue told her the type of poker she needed. Tsunade didn't even bother to open the door, she just jumped out of the window and disappeared. Less than half an hour later, Tsunade came back, holding a confused Kushina in one hand, in the other hand was a deck of freshly printed playing cards. This poker was made by Tsunade, who went directly to the printing shop and asked the boss to work overtime at short notice. The pattern is not important, numbers and letters are enough, there is no need to be so detailed. Kushina was preparing delicious food at home and decided to give Qianyue extra food in the evening. He was still busy in the kitchen when Tsunade pulled him away without any explanation. Before she even said she didn't want to, Tsunade just carried her and ran away. Arriving at Qianyue's house, Kushina was still confused. Don't I cook at home? Why was he being carried away? This is poker, let's get started, I can't wait. Throwing Kushina on the sofa, Tsunade rubbed her hands and kept urging Kianzuki to start quickly. You all understand the rules, right? After telling it for a long time, Qianyue finally made Tsunade and Kushina understand the rules of playing landlord. Fortunately, Tsunade is a big fat sheep. Although she is not very lucky, her memory is still good, but Kushina was a little confused. Call the landlord. As soon as the cards were dealt, the big fat sheep shouted impatiently, can't wait to be a landlord. No matter whether Qianyue and Kushina agreed or not, they just grabbed the trump card in their hands. Kushina bit her lip and began to sort out the cards. Qianyue glanced at Tsunade speechlessly. Who gave you the courage to rob the landowner? Even the step of calling the landlord is omitted. He looked at the double kings and 3 twos in his hand. Qianyue silently made preparations to slaughter the big fat sheep. As long as Kushina doesn't hold back, Kianzuki guarantees that Tsunade won't even have to wear the pants she lost. How to fight. Tsunade's success in repaying the craving for food was clearly demonstrated. 3. 2. I can't afford it. Shunzi. I can't afford it. 3 belts in 1. I want it, I have this, I want it. Wang Jia, did you cheat? Why are all the big names in your home? Chapter 55. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. Seeing Qianyue running away one after another, Tsunade was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Why are all the big names in your home? You shuffle the cards, what is cheating? If you can't afford it, don't play. If you give me money, I'll patronize you with 10,000 or 20,000, and you won't be owed any credit. Qianyue pushed the cards in front of Tsunade. It's just food, why do you have the nerve to tell others? I don't even know where you got the courage to draw cards. I'll do it, I'll do it. Tsunade felt that she had been cheated. Her luck couldn't be that bad. Why were all the good cards in Qianyue's hand? Come again, killing you will make you stand on your back, blow it up, Shunzi. Your Majesty, plain. 2 o'clock, Shunzi, seeing Qianyue close the cards again and again, and even Kushina taking advantage, Tsunade is so angry. What kind of shit is my luck? I never get good cards, I still don't believe it, continue. Tsunade, who was already on top, continued to deal the cards. Do you want to be a landlord? See if I don't break all the seeds in your head this time. With the double kings and 4 hats in hand, Tsunade felt like she was invincible. This one was definitely capable of killing Qianyue, and he knelt down to beg for mercy. Don't want. Qianyue decisively took the blame. Ha ha ha, Yagami Qianyue, you kid, just wait and give me the money. Tsunade excitedly grabbed her trump card. See if I don't follow the rules and come back. Qianyue, that it seemed that following him, Minato, Kushina, Uchiha Mikoto, and even Tsunade learned some funny phrases spoken in their previous lives. With the 2 kings in hand, I own the world. Tsunade felt that she was sitting firmly on the Daiyutai and arrogantly threw out a mistress. Kushina stared at the cards in her hand, but nothing happened for a long time. She was struggling with how to play this card. There seemed to be something wrong with this card. If she wasn't careful, she could run out of cards all at once. Tsunade, who finally got a good hand, will definitely cry. Why are you hesitating? Come on. Just when Kushina hesitated, Kyuubi's voice rang in her heart. Kyuubi, who was trapped by the diamond chain, was even more anxious than Kushina. Kushina reached a certain agreement with the nasty big fox Kyuubi. It does not affect Kushina's practice, and Kushina does not need to toss it with diamond chains. Occasionally, she can let it out and take a look at the outside world. No, Kyuubi couldn't help but feel itchy as he watched Kianzuki, Tsunade, and Kushina fight against each other. Seeing Qianyue eating handful after handful, Tsunade was almost out of her pants. Kushina could only have some fun with Qianyue when she became a farmer together. You finally got a good card, why did you hesitate? You poured out the card. Don't be anxious. Kyuubi, I'm almost dying of anxiety. Why are you arguing? What do you know? Kushina said impatiently. What if I lose? I can't cheat Qianyue. In the sealed space, Kyuubi couldn't help but rolled his eyes and bared his teeth. Listen to me, it's absolutely true. If you lose this game, I won't let it go for 3 months in a row. Real? Yes, hurry up. Tsunade can't afford it. All right. Under Tsunade's impatient eyes, Kushina obeyed Kyuubi's command and threw out a 2, don't want. Qianyue gave up decisively. Should I blow her up? Seeing Tsunade getting embarrassed, Kyuubi raised his head proudly. Look, I said you are right to listen to me. Pass. In the end, Tsunade couldn't take action. I chose not to. Shunzi. Under Kyuubi's command, Kushina threw out a handful of cards, and Tsunade's eyes widened. Qianyue turned her head away to prevent herself from laughing. Why is it so difficult for Tsunade to win? From the beginning to the end, poor Kushina had never been a landlord. She either won with Qianyue or lost with Tsunade. Pass. That I don't believe you can get rid of it in one go. 2. You deliberately went against me, didn't you? Tsunade was angry, veins popped up on her forehead, and she had the urge to hit someone. Fortunately, the person sitting here is Kushina. If it were Jiraiya, he would have been punched away. Can't I make a pair of 2? Kushina looked at Tsunade aggrievedly. Facing the commission, Kushina was humiliated, and Tsunade lost her temper in an instant, trying her best to put on a smile that couldn't be more fake. Of course you can, keep going, I don't believe you. Shunzi. As Kushina threw down the last card, the smile on Tsunade's face completely froze. The promised king is in my hand, but I have the world. Was her home stolen by Kushina like this? It's so anti-spring, double the money. Aw. So angry, Qianyue laughed and fell on the table. Playing cards with Tsunade was so fun, I always lose, and I never win, even if it's just a handful. You're fine. Tsunade stared at Kushina. I finally got a good card, and you just stole it from me? Is there any natural reason? Kushina pretended not to understand and asked, Tsunade-san, are you still here? I haven't been a landlord yet. Why are you here? It's time to sleep. Throwing away the cards, Tsunade stepped away decisively. Because she lost all her money, Qianzuki wouldn't let her pay the debt unless Kushina was willing to lend her money. That won't work here in Qianyue. Want to borrow money? Sorry, not a dime. Rather than lending you money and losing it, it's better to keep it and enjoy it. Because of this, it was almost impossible for Tsunade to borrow money from Qianyue. Kushina's side is not likely either. What makes Tsunade most helpless is that she has not been able to force Kushina to lend her money. If it had been a rope tree, it would have been kicked away long ago. Because she has lost everything. If she keeps fighting, she will lose even her panties. Qianyue laughed so hard that her stomach ached. Shouted to Tsunade, the guest room has been cleaned. Don't go to my room. I like it, I'm happy to, I'll sleep in your room. Feeling unhappy after losing the money, Tsunade yelled and went straight into the room. If you have the guts, you can sleep with it forever. Just sleep, who is afraid of whom? I am worried about where to eat. I don't have any objection if you want to support me. Qianyue finally understood that Tsunade was not only an old gambler, but also an old gangster. Look at what she said, I'll go accompany Tsunade-san. Kushina carefully placed the money she won and ran towards the bedroom. After losing all the money, Tsunade became much more honest. Unfortunately, after a day, his temper began to change. After trying to borrow money from Kushina to no avail, she even resorted to playing boring tricks like fighting landlords and sticking stickers. Qianyue despised her and decisively refused. Winning a small amount of money playing cards is acceptable, but as for boring things like stickers, don't come to me. On the fourth day, at the urging of the third Hokage, Tsunade had to leave Konoha carrying a large number of seal scrolls and head to the battlefield of the Land of Rain. On the way, Tsunade put her arm around Qianyue's shoulders and looked like she was watching a good show. Qianzuki, why don't you say goodbye to Kushina and Uchiha Makoto? You just want to see me embarrassed, don't think that I can't see through your little thoughts. Qianyue rolled her eyes at her and decisively distanced herself. How decent it was to hug her in broad daylight. They all know that I will go to the battlefield of the Kingdom of Rain. They have already given me the necessary advice. Why do they want to meet me? Oh, you're still shy. Don't run away. Come here and let me hug you. I can talk to Kushina when I get back. You go. Are we going to the battlefield, or are we here to have fun? Chapter 58. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. By the way, remember to inform your sister when you come back and come over for dinner when it's time. Sure enough, you have to start a small stove yourself. Fortunately, Tsunade can be used as a gun, so I believe no one dares to say anything. Tsunade is as important to the camp as Danzo, the commander-in-chief. She wants to practice cooking and open a small stove. Who dares to force her? No one will say it is wrong, but they will think it is natural. Is this okay? Thinking of the delicious food Qianyue made, Naoshu swallowed subconsciously. He was a little greedy and almost vomited after eating dry food. If you don't want to, then just keep eating dry food and I'll go out for a walk. Qianyue spread his hands helplessly. Since Qingshu was unwilling, he would find a way on his own. The Land of Rain only has a harsh environment, but there are still some things that should be there. Qianyue didn't believe it. Her cooking skills couldn't even cook a small stove. Don't. I'm going. Qingshu is not an idiot. If there is a chance to open a small stove, why not use his own name? He almost vomited the meals and dry food in the camp. As the chef Qianyue happens to be here, this small stove must be turned on. After stopping Qianyue, Qingshu put on his raincoat and ran towards the logistics department. He won't get scolded, right? Looking at the back of the rope tree disappearing in the rain, Minato was a little worried. By borrowing Tsunade's name like this, there is a high probability that Tsunade will not beat Qianyue, and now Shu may be the one who gets beaten, then you eat solid food. Qianyue glanced at him with contempt on her face. I want to start a small stove, but I am worried whether the rope tree will be beaten. Ahem, the weather is nice today. Minato changed the subject carelessly, as if he wasn't the one who was worried about Naoki getting beaten just now. Compared to Kai Xiaozao, whether Naoki will be beaten, is not that important. Tsunade won't beat him anyway. This is called a dead Taoist friend but a poor Taoist. I learned this from you. Naoki came to the logistics department in the name of Tsunade and stated his requirements. Uneasy, he looked at the logistics department management Jounin and felt a little panicked. What? For Tsunade-sama? The other party's reaction was obviously greater than what Xingshu thought, which frightened Xingshu into panic. Since it is Tsunade-sama's need, we will satisfy it no matter what. Please wait a moment. I will have someone send it to you right now. You don't need to run there yourself in the future. Someone will send it to you every day. The management Jounin patted his chest and assured, although he is a ninja of the Shimura clan and was promoted by Danzo, he admires Tsunade very much. If it wasn't for Tsunade, God knows how many ninjas would have died in Konoha on the battlefield. Is this it? Isn't that a bit outrageous? The process went smoothly and was a bit scary. After leaving the logistics department, Naoshu's head was still buzzing. Fortunately, he didn't forget to find Tsunade. What do you want from me? Lien hurried to the Rain Country camp and underwent 2 more surgeries. With Tsunade's strength and body, she was very tired. At this time, she looked tired, crossed her arms, leaned on the chair, put her legs on the table, and warned, Let's make an agreement first. We don't have to talk about going to the battlefield. For this kind of thing, you can go find Orochimaru yourself. Regarding the rope tree, Tsunade's biggest headache is that this younger brother always wants to go to the battlefield to kill the enemy. I have made trouble with her many times over this matter. Tsunade thought that the rope tree came to her because she wanted to ask her to help intercede and get Orochimaru to agree to his entering the battlefield, so make it clear in advance that there is no need to talk about entering the battlefield. You can talk to Orochimaru yourself when he comes back. That's not it. Xingshu said anxiously, It's Qianyue. He said that you are working hard and need to open a small stove. I have already gone to the logistics department. They will send the things to me and ask you to wait for dinner. Good. Tsunade agreed immediately. She had already had enough of the food in the camp. If she had a choice, of course it would be more comfortable to turn on a small stove. Qianyue's cooking skills are so good, it would be a pity not to turn on the small stove. Then I'll leave first. Tsunade agreed, and Naoki's heart dropped, etc. Tsunade suddenly reacted. You mean to open a small stove in my name? Danger. Now Shu realized something was wrong and he might be beaten. It was a matter of life and safety. Xingshu explained quickly, It's none of my business. It's all Qianyue's fault. He said that you must be willing to borrow your name and the people in the logistics department won't embarrass me, otherwise I will be criticized. TCH. I knew it. Tsunade lost her interest and even gave up the idea of hitting her brother. Not angry anymore. Is the sun out today? Boy, you deserve a spanking, don't you? Tsunade's anger that had just disappeared suddenly rose up. She slapped the table and said with gritted teeth, If you had half the brains of that kid Qianyue Yagami, I don't know how much worry you would have saved. Get out of here quickly and tell him that I will be here on time later. I will block the things in the camp and keep the stove running. Get out now. The temperless Xingshu ran away holding his head, fearing that he would be beaten if he was slow for a second. Alas, I hope this kid can get enlightened by hanging out with Qianyue. Tsunade didn't have much expectations for the rope tree, as long as he could grow up smoothly. As for the desire to become Hokage and stand side by side with my grandfather, it's best if I can achieve it, and it's okay if I can't. Even Tsunade herself is not optimistic about this kind of thing. One can imagine how difficult it is to achieve this goal. Being side by side with Senju Hashirama is almost a delusion and does not need to be considered. As for becoming Hokage, it's too early to say this. The third Hokage was in his prime and could not easily abdicate in favor of someone more powerful. Even if the third Hokage abdicates in favor of someone more powerful, as long as the power is not obtained, whoever takes the position of Hokage will be embarrassed, like Minato. So what if Orochimaru is eliminated and becomes the fourth Hokage? All kinds of power are either in the hands of the third Hokage or in the hands of Danzo and others, acting like a puppet at the front desk. Lord Danzo, this is something sent by the logistics department. Please take a look. The logistics department specially mobilized things for Tsunade, and Danzo must be notified. After all, Danzo is the camp commander, and all matters, big or small, require his approval. Take a look at the reminder gifts, there will be updates every day. I love you all, Redheart. Chapter 59. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. Danzo glanced at the contents of the file lightly, then put the file down. Let's arrange it this way. We can add some fresher ingredients regularly. Tsunade needs to turn on the stove. This is a good thing. Danzo wished that Tsunade could stay in the camp and turn on the stove every day. As long as Tsunade stayed in the camp, she could revive many injured ninjas. For Danzo, this is much better than Tsunade fighting enemies from the front. However, Tsunade didn't like him and left the camp after an argument and entered the battlefield, unable to persuade him to come back. Now, Tsunade is willing to stay. Isn't this a good thing? Yes. With Danzo's permission, the people in the logistics department also breathed a sigh of relief. Now it was justifiable. After the people from the logistics department left, Danzo said calmly, The one named Chiyuki Yagami followed Tsunade to the camp. Yes, Lord Danzo, along with Jiraiya's disciple, Namake's Minato, Lord Hokage specifically asked Tsunade to let them come to the front line for training. Do you want to summon them? The root ninja appeared in the tent, knelt on one knee, and answered respectfully, No need, they're just two brats, aren't they just a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan eyes? Since Sarutobi cares about them, let's go with them. It would be a lie to say that he is not interested, he just needs talents like Qianyue, and Danzo is very jealous of Chizuki's Sharingan and his Genjutsu. However, he was currently on the rise, so it was not appropriate for him to make some secret moves to avoid offending the third Hokage. In addition, because Qianyue's status is sensitive, it is best not to move if possible, not to mention that Tsunade has always been very optimistic about him. If she really did something to Qianyue, Tsunade would definitely explode. It would be strange if the camp didn't get into trouble by then. A genius worth recruiting and great power in his hands, Danzo decisively chose the latter. As for Chizuki embarrassing Shimura Shutsu, is that important? It's such a big deal, it's not worthy of his attention at all. There are so many people in the Shimura clan, and everyone has something going on. If he needs to step in to solve it, then Danzo doesn't need to be in power, just focus on helping the tribe solve their problems. Yes. The root man got the order and disappeared into the tent. He was the only one left in the tent. Danzo's expressionless face, his brows furrowed deeply. Hirokin Koharu and Mito Manabu, and the three of them jointly negotiated with the third Hokage in order to seize the power of the frontline commander. But what Danzo never expected was that although this position was very powerful, it was a bit hot on the butt. He needs to deal with all the messy things, that's all. Even if there are various conspiracies and calculations, Danzo is not afraid, but what troubles him is that he is somewhat lacking in the ability to command and distribute enemies, but he doesn't want to give power to others. This has resulted in the current dilemma. In addition, the third Hokage wanted to negotiate with Hanzo and hoped to end the war through negotiation. This was not what Danzo wanted to see. His wish is to become Hokage. To become Hokage, he must have enough merit and reputation. If the third Hokage leads the negotiations and finally ends the war, he will never be the one to benefit. Sure enough, in any world, you need to be hugged by your thighs to feel comfortable. Look, others are just eating dry food, but they can open small stoves, and everyone who does so is willing to give them more things. Qianyue sighed. Gudu. It's been a long time since I've had decent food. Smelling the aroma, Naoshu swallowed in dismay. Qianyue looked at him speechlessly. Xingshu, can you stop being so embarrassed? People who don't know think you are on the run. On the battlefield, sometimes it is more terrifying than fleeing. Tsunade's voice came in. It was obviously stuck, and she also helped her brother resolve the embarrassment, otherwise the rope tree would definitely sit there. Sister, it's time to start dinner. The rope tree jumped up and made room for Tsunade to sit. It's a pity that Tsunade was rejected because of her strength. after looking at the tent that had been packed, Tsunade still chose to sit on Qianyue's side. There was no other reason. Xingshu's bed was too messy, and there was a strange smell that no girl wanted to smell. After eating, go and clean up by yourself, otherwise you will be embarrassed, but don't blame me for not reminding you. After Tsunade sat down, she did not forget to warn Naoki with her eyes. He used to live in a tent by himself, but now he has 2 more companions. If he is still as slovenly as before, he will be disliked by others. As for her, Tsunade, who dares to dislike her? Have you washed your hands and changed your clothes? Just sit on my bed. As soon as she finished thinking, Tsunade was pushed away by Qianyue. The medical department is not a good place. There are a lot of viruses and dirt. If you accidentally bring some here, you will be in trouble. Naoshu, who had just been rejected and was still feeling sad, stared at Qianyue dumbfounded. The sister who just disliked her is being disliked. Am I dreaming? Kid, what did you say? Being disliked in front of his younger brother, especially when he had just disliked his younger brother, Tsunade's face turned red with anger and she glared at Qianyue. It's obviously been washed. If you don't believe me, come and smell it. Yeah. Qianyue approached Tsunade suspiciously and sniffed it. Minato was not surprised by this matter. Qianyue and Tsunade had already struggled with even weirder things, let alone this. This can only be regarded as child's play. Minato could accept it, but Nezuki couldn't. He felt like the sky was about to fall. His sister was actually willing to let a little boy come so close to her, and do such an outrageous thing. Yagami Qianyue, you are going too far. There is no way you can smell the smell next to a girl. There's no strange smell, so you've passed. After making sure there was no strange smell, Qianyue let Tsunade go. Let's eat. You are lucky. The people from the logistics department specially sent you 2 bottles of wine. Picking up the bowls and chopsticks, Qianyue pointed to the wine bottle placed aside. Consider them sensible. It's not in vain that I worked so hard to save people. I'm exhausted. Qianyue will massage it for me later. Your massage technique last time was quite good. I felt very comfortable after I massaged it. Go aside, are you a big face? Just tell me whether to press it or not. I reject. Eat, why don't you eat? Aren't you hungry already? Glancing at the stupid rope tree, Minato was confused. Could it be because of the quarrel between Qianyue and Tsunade-senpai? Isn't this normal operation? Eat, why are you so dazed? After arguing with Chizuki, Tsunade noticed something was wrong with her brother. Oh, eat, eat. Naoki quickly picked up the rice in the bowl, forgetting to pick up the vegetables, and his eyes kept turning around Qianyue and Tsunade. If you look again, I'll dig out your eyes. Tsunade's eyes widened. Rope tree, that I am your biological brother. Dear, why should you be more cruel to me than to outsiders? It's so comfortable to turn on the small stove, I can't even bear to leave the camp. After eating and drinking, Tsunade's face was flushed due to drinking, and she fell directly on Qianyue's bed. Come on, press it for me. I'm almost exhausted. If you don't press it, I won't leave. I'll sleep here tonight. When? The bowl in Naoshu's hand fell on the table. Then, Tsunade, Chigetsu, and Minato looked over with questioning eyes. Are you okay? Why is it always so weird? I can even drop a bowl on the table. Chapter 60. You are listening at NavelFull.audio. You like pressing, right? Let's see if you still press it. Qianyue gritted her teeth and jumped on Tsunade's back, took her hand and pulled her back hard. A series of sounds of crunching bones were heard. Yes, that's it, use a little harder. The bones are almost falling apart. Woman, shut up. I'm doing a good job of pressing it for you. Why is there so much nonsense? Shinshu was completely stunned. He didn't even know how he got out of the tent. Rose tree, what's wrong with you? You're absent-minded. Minato pulled the rope tree and left the tent. The 2 of them were responsible for washing the dishes and pots. Seeing that the rope tree was not in good condition, Minato was a little worried. I'm fine, after coming back to his senses, Naoshu smiled bitterly and shook his head, raising his hand to gesture. I feel a little bit embarrassed to say it, after all, his ideas are too evil, Watergate. Huh. Give me the bowls and chopsticks. You don't seem to be feeling well. Leave it to me today. You can come tomorrow. What is the relationship between my sister and Yagami Kianzuki? Relation? Minato looked up at him. It's a very normal relationship. I used to think they were senior and junior, but later I felt like they were friends. Both of them like to fool around and be playful. As he said this, Minato was ashamed. In the entire Konoha, only Qianyue dares to be so naughty with Tsunade. If it had been anyone else, he would have been slapped to death. Don't you think this relationship is strange? Naoki still felt something was wrong. Tsunade was so old, but she actually became friends with someone who was more than 10 years younger than him. They seem to be very close. This is unreasonable, really unreasonable. There's something even weirder tonight, you'll find out later. Minato could only smile bitterly as he thought back to the last few nights he had spent. What, is there anything weirder? The sound of the rope tree rose several degrees, almost deafening Minato's ears. Minato didn't even know why Nezuki had such a big reaction. Soon, Naoki understood why Minato said even stranger things. Come on, while you and the three of you haven't gone on duty yet, let's play some landlords first. We haven't played all day, and we feel uncomfortable all over. After patting the table, Tsunade felt comfortable all over after enjoying a full massage. She held the playing cards and hooked her fingers against the rope tree. Lend me your pocket money first and I'll pay you back another day. No, I don't have any pocket money. Shingshu yelled and subconsciously covered his purse. Qianyue rolled her eyes. Don't you have 300 taels of silver here? With such obvious actions and tone, Tsunade can only believe that there is a ghost. Have you overestimated your sister's bottom line? You don't want to borrow it? Tsunade knew Naoki was rich and would not believe his excuse for not having money. She narrowed her eyes slightly, raised her chin, and looked at him. There's really only so much left. Shingshu took out the money and wanted to cry but had no tears. Qianyue, Watergate, the two of them were inexplicably glad that they did not have such a sister, otherwise they would have gone crazy. Forget it, I won't win Tsunade's money today. Naoki looked so pitiful. Qianyue thought so. Minato too, just playing cards with Tsunade. It is difficult for you to lose. No. Qianyue could still pretend to be stupid and hit him casually. Minato was not very familiar with landlords yet, so he could only bravely fight. As a result, Minato became the biggest winner, and Qianyue also won a lot. Who made Tsunade keep thinking about being a landlord? She kept thinking about how to do it all. As a result, the loser did not win back, but lost all the rope tree's pocket money. Damn you brat, I remember you, and I will settle the score with Jiraiya. Just lose to Qianyue, Tsunade admits. Why is Minato even winning her money? Damn it. Jiraiya, wait for me. In the battlefield, Jiraiya, who had just fought an ambush battle, suddenly felt cold all over, and a gust of cold air ran down his tailbone and reached the back of his head. Orochimaru, do you feel suddenly chilly? I think you are stupid. Giving him a contemptuous look, Orochimaru didn't even think of talking to him. In his eyes, Jiraiya had always been a stupid idiot, being ignored and despised. Jiraiya laughed, scratched his long wet white hair, and without taking it to heart, he changed the topic and continued to ask, you said Tsunade is back. Should we go back to the camp to repair, just in time to rest? Ninjas are human beings and get tired, not perpetually moving machines. After dealing with this wave of enemies, we will go back tomorrow. Facing Jiraiya, Orochimaru cherished words like gold. To put it simply, he couldn't talk to Jiraiya even if he didn't talk much. Orochimaru's thoughts are all about ninjutsu and how to become stronger, while Jiraiya's thoughts are all about women. How can a person like Orochimaru, who doesn't even care about gender, continue chatting with him? It was fine when Tsunade was around, but in Tsunade's absence, the atmosphere between the two was as awkward as possible. It's a good thing that Orochimaru hasn't turned black yet, otherwise Jiraiya would be even more uncomfortable. Don't be sad. When we get back to Konoha, I'll treat you to a big meal and a hot spring bath. Isn't it just a little pocket money? You look like you're crying. you don't have any masculinity at all. Qianyue comforted Xingshu, but that's my money. Xingshu was about to cry but had no tears. He didn't even touch the cards and the money was gone. How could anyone be more aggrieved than him? A biological sister, indeed a biological sister. Anyone who is not a biological sister would not be able to do such a deceptive thing. How about, we give you the money back? Minato couldn't bear it. At this moment, Xingshu looked so helpless and pitiful, which made him feel a little embarrassed. After all, he wins the most. Forget it, I've long been used to it, it's just heartache. Now Shu laughed calmly. Next time I will definitely hide my pocket money so that my sister won't find it. I will be able to do it. It would be better for the two of us to stay away from each other. I heard that stupidity is contagious. Qianyue decisively evacuated and stayed away from the rope tree. Minato thought for a while and left. He felt that the rope tree was a bit stupid now, so it would be better to stay away. The rope tree had been hiding for a whole day, and Qianyue and Minato finally knew what they were going to do. Only then did they finally understand why they had an ominous premonition during the day. So, our mission is to guard the seal scroll in the morgue to prevent anyone from stealing the body. In the world of Naruto, you will not find peace even if you die, because countless secrets can be unearthed from your body, and even your soul cannot escape. When Konoha and the Rain Ninja Village went to war, there were a huge number of dead ninjas. There were too many corpses to transport back, so they would be sealed in scrolls and transported in batches. The task of the rope tree is to guard the seal scroll at night. Qianyue and Minato were assigned together. No wonder the surprised medical man looked at them both so strangely during the day. At this age, they can follow Tsunade into the battlefield, which is definitely not comparable to ordinary ninjas of the same age. As a result, as soon as he arrived at the camp, he was assigned to guard the scroll that sealed the corpse. No one else could accept such an arrangement. Yes, although the possibility of an enemy coming to steal the body is very, very small. Now Shu looked embarrassed. He was embarrassed to say it during the day because this task was disgraceful. He is going to the battlefield, how can he keep guarding the morgue? The result was not what he expected, so he was assigned here. The morgue was eerily quiet. It was fine during the day, but it was so quiet at night that the entire morgue became a bit eerie. Those who are timid will never dare to stay here forever. Leaning on the wooden pillar, Qianyue asked with a headache, Xingshu, have you offended someone? Why are you assigned here? It was arranged by the teacher.